Good night, people. We're here for the NFL podcast. Kems and company will be joining us soon, so we have to keep the show going. As usual, once you come in, you just hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share. So, for the NFL, a few games went on Thanksgiving, but before we touch on the Thanksgiving games, um, until the other panelists join me, I just want to touch something away from the NFL, if it's okay by the producer. We see where a former NFL player, Zach Stacy, right? He was allegedly locked up for abusing his girlfriend. And again, there was another story with a player from, I think it's the Vikes Griffin. He was put on NFI list after like an home incident. What happened was that he called the police saying that someone was in his house, threatening him, Kims. And apparently at 3 a.m. he called somebody that somebody's trying to threaten him, called the police. When it turned out nobody was in the house, they came to his house like about 11 a.m., 1 p.m. House was cleared. His wife and kids was not in there, and they took him to a mental institution. So the issue here come up about the mental state of players while they're in the NFL and after they leave the NFL. And the issue about CT may come into play because we don't see these stories happening that much with the NBA. So I don't know. What is your take on this whole situation about the NFL players, Kems? So it's like they have all the money and everything, but the mental the mental issues about abuse and just issues with mental health keep occurring more with the NFL players as opposed to other professional stars. What you make of it?
All right. So good night, everyone. You know, I believe this is exactly and a lot of persons like to talk about the NFL now soft and stuff, but
Mm.
this is exactly one of the reasons, and this is one of the things that you're trying to get rid of, due to the fact that we do indeed have players who get a lot of hits in the head, and then CTE, mental this, mental that, but you know, even not only with the NFL, but I think in life as men, where mental health is concerned, I think we often believe that, you know, good night, Shem, big up atheism in Jamaica. Yeah, right? But I think as men, I think when it comes down to mental health, I think is a thing where we believe like we're too macho. We believe we're too macho for go in and to talk to somebody about it. We believe we're too macho for get some help about it. We believe all right then, we are men, so obviously, society give us that platform to say, well, you have to be strong. You have to always be the strong one. You cannot have a weak moment. So I think when you see these things happening with NFL players, this really are just the last of it. Just the last of it. Like them cute, them can't do no more, them can't do no better. And then, this is the result of it. So I mean, it's a really unfortunate. And I
Yeah.
think there's other players in the NFL, who definitely has, some mental issues. And that is why I took exception, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow in the basketball show. But that's why I took big exception when it came on to Ben Simmons talking about he has mental issues and all that kind of stuff. You don't just throw up mental issues just like that. So, hopefully, these guys can get some help, and get the, because when I listen to Shannon Sharp and all of those people, they explain to us that, the NFL have so, even the thing what happened with Henry Ruggs, like the NFL
Mm.
have so much different outlets where you can go to when you need help. They provide all these things for you. But I say, as men, majority of the time we try to act like we're too macho, and, we don't want to go and seek help. But, man, let me tell you.
Final point about it, Kims, because as you carry on, as
Yeah.
you continue, you think it's a way to how we grow the boys? Because the other day something happened where like after my son was crying, I said, "Hey boy, stop your crying." And then his grandma was saying, "No, it's okay for him to cry because
Mm-hmm.
he's a social worker. She said it's okay for him to cry, express his emotions from young, but never grow that way if you cry." So I was trying to suppress his feelings. I don't know if you think it's the way we grow the kids from young age. I don't.
For sure, for sure. And here is Shem saying that not only men, but if we think about our country on a whole, we don't take mental health seriously,
True.
and
Agree
that's a hundred. That's 100% Shem, 100% true. And you guys, I definitely want you all to, talk in the comment section because obviously this is something, very serious, not only sports related but life related. And that's definitely true, Devin, because we have a tendency to say, even, me growing up as a youth, my uncle and, cousins and so say, you know, stop your balling, yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like that. So so in turn, that is saying that hey, it is only acceptable for females to cry.
Right,
You
right.
know, so then and them say children live what they learn, right? So, when you're teaching them that as you grow up now, if they're feeling some form of feelings or they feel like, damn, a weak moment, you must say, well, boy, daddy beat me for crying the last time, so them can't cry again. So them try and find a way how to get over that. So I believe we definitely start, from a tender age. So hopefully, we can definitely get to it and, see if, how we can attack that. Shanelia, good night. Latoya, good night. Good night, Mr. Wally West. You know, oh God, I'm going to beat that man tonight. So I don't know why you.
Yeah, be the boss.
I don't know why you come with that. Hey Wally, but I want to get your take on this really quickly before we move on, right? Devin was mentioning about the mental health of some NFL players, right? And he was saying that the other day his son was crying and him say, oh, say, stop your eyes, what you bad for? So you want to know that if we are adding to the aspect of men or boys not being able to talk out about how they're feeling mentally when they have a weak moment or anything of that nature. Do you have anything to say about that?
Interestingly enough, it was something that we were discussing at work this week. Especially in well, I'm not sure. Devin and Kim, they can elaborate more on what the American culture is like, but certainly, here, if a man say, boy, somebody says something where make me feel one way or hurt my feelings, I'm not gonna say, boy, shut up, man, yeah, girl, or
Yeah,
or if, or especially if it's a case where for example your woman a give you bun, you can never find a space to share what you're feeling if your woman is cheating on you. Because man I say, you're soft, you're not galley, our next man broke your foot
Yeah,
and all of those
yeah,
things. And
yeah.
you never know how close a man is to the edge of doing something drastic. We had a spate of incidents in our country where men were killing women, the children, and then killing themselves. And when you listen to the backstory, you hear that it had to do with some form of infidelity. So unfortunately, we really don't have a safe space for men to express themselves when they are hurting emotionally. They are told to hold it. But you have a saying, pressure bust pipe, and eventually, if you don't have that ongoing outlet, then when the pipe eventually bursts, you're going to have that big explosion, and you're going to have the guys doing something drastic. So it's a balance because there is a scope for mental fortitude, so you don't want to be cuddling at every step of the way. So because life is hard, and so you still want to develop that mental fortitude, but at the same time, you want to provide a safe space where you can have that balance when somebody's feeling overwhelmed, that they can have that outlet. So it's a balancing act. I think we've gone too far over the spectrum of saying, boy, hold it in, don't show any emotion. So I we need to find a way to find that middle ground of developing mental fortitude, but at the same time providing that safe space for men to express themselves when they are hurting.
For sure, and Wally, that's absolutely well said. Um, couldn't agree more. And Shanila Ellis is saying also, once men talk out, they're labeled as soft. So most times it's not a safe space. And Shem also said, I tend to say the same thing to the boys in my class when they cry, and then I catch myself and let them and they'll basically tell them it's okay to cry, right? And and obviously, this is a topic that we can talk about for months, weeks, years, right? But Wally brought up a good point. When especially when men are cheated on, when we are cheated on and stuff. Oh gosh, you can't go to your brethren and say, boy, say Keisha do this because I'm laughing spoil. You are the laughing stock on the block. And you know, I'll challenge you guys, I'll challenge myself, the producer, and everybody really on, this particular forum right now that, we have to try and make a change. As small as the change be, we have to try and just turn the corner a little bit because I've been guilty of it. And I'm sure you guys probably in some way, shape, or form have been guilty of probably laughing at someone when really and truly, if we take a look at it, we're not really supposed to laugh. So um, it's definitely something that we really have to just try and work on individually and collectively as well. But
But just before you
mhm,
move on, Kims, I definitely
yes.
want to hear your perspective on Devin. What is it? What is the culture like? Where up there? Is it similar to here, or there's more
Man,
um avenues for that sort of thing? I want to hear from both you guys.
totally different. Totally different. It's just that, like, because in the schools, 'cause I work in the schools, like, they have been safe space for everything. It's like in the schools now they have a safe space. You talk about mental health, you talk about what they call it, everything. Pride. If you feel like you want to be like a girl, a boy want to be girl, and the pride thing is prominent in the school. The mental health space is prominent in the school. Everything is from young. It is there. So it's like that old thing about being macho and everything. No, it's different. But why I brought it up, Wally, I brought it up on the back of the guy, what's his name, Griffin, where he was in his home and they had a gun and every stuff, and then I was wondering if it's just mostly in the NFL where we have players with these mental issues, or it's more in the NFL than the other professional sports. Is it because of the CT and the consistent hits because of the nature of the sport? That's how it all come about, because I was seeing the story on the news consistently about this guy Griffin, and I just read up on his story and I was following up on it.
Well, well, Devin, and Wally, for me, who I've encountered with, as I tell you, like, I love Jamaica, I love my country, I love where I'm from,
Yeah,
but, Jamaica is a little bit rough around the edges when it comes on to certain stuff. Very, very rough. Up here, so it's not like that at all,
totally different.
trust me, totally different. If you want to cry, you cry, if you want, there's, obviously, you're going to have a fraction of people that then laugh off you and so, but for the majority, is a kind of safe place up here.
And
And so
even within the black community.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
even the black community, but
yeah.
I would say you have some places up here, would I remind you are like Tivoli and them places are different, but as may I say, the majority you can, if you feel sad, feel like, say, you have to be macho, you can let your feelings be known, let your feelings be heard, and so. All right, so.
Mhm.
All right. So, Mr. Producer, I want you to put up the AFC standings
Mhm.
and the NFC standings. I
Yeah.
want you to put up. I want you to put up that one, and then I have to start on Mr. Wally's case because Wally came here and tell me that Cam Newton is going to win this game against the Washington football team. All right. And Devin, let me remind you, and you can tell me, say, here we go. All right. So this is the AFC. Show me the NFC, my boss. The NFC.
NFC. Yeah.
Show me
Right.
the NFC. All right. Here we go. So Carolina right here, they are 5-6. The Saints just played. This wasn't updated from Thursday because the Saints just played on Thursday, so the Saints are 5-6 as well. So right now, Carolina is out of the playoffs, right? if Carolina had won that game, they would have been 6-5, and they would have been in the playoff picture, right? They would have been the seventh seed. No, I believe they're the eighth seed based on what's going on, right? And I don't think they have a very favorable schedule to them. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have a better schedule. I think the Minnesota Vikings have a better schedule. So right now, Cam Newton is in trouble. I'm not going to say he didn't play well. I'll give you
No,
time to talk. I'm
no.
not going to say he didn't play well, but at the end of the day, the job of a quarterback is to win. And listen, hold up. Cam Newton had the ball last, right? He had the ball last. This is your moment. You're back at home, Carolina against your former coach. The stage is set for you to go and win the game. First down, second down, third down, fourth down, could not move the ball. And on that fourth down play, he tried to run and be the hero when there was a guy wide open at the first down marker. I cannot forgive Cam Newton for that. And if the Carolina Panthers do not make the playoffs, I'm going to circle this Washington game because this is not a game that they should have lost. They can't lose a game to Taylor Heineke. Like, come on, man, let's not do this. So I'll give you a time to talk. Well, no, let Devin talk first because you know you're gonna go off for your little rant. So Devin, go ahead. What I have no doubt that you agree with everything I
Oh,
just said
of
about
course,
Cam Newton.
because first of all, he started out well, right? It
Yep,
was going good, and then shouting out, "I am back" and all of that. Yeah.
yep,
So like, and another thing too, you're going up against this Washington team. You know, it's crunch time now. There's no way. I agree with you definitely that there's no way you lose to Heineken or Heineke, right? You
yep,
don't lose to you don't lose to in such a crunch time game. Plus, Kems, like what I always say, like in any sport, when you're at home, you got to make the home advantage count.
yep,
And it's not like
yep,
when you're at home now and it was an empty stand. You have fans in the stadium now cheering you on.
yep.
Right? And that last play, everybody was critical of him. I don't know what his lawyer gonna come up with the defense for him. Like he was trying to be Superman to do it himself. Just throw the ball
Yep.
to the open guy.
Yeah, like the guy was wild. Like literally, I wish
I'm
if it
on
wasn't for
Jesus
copy,
alone over there. I'm on
if
Jesus alone.
if it wasn't for copyright infringement, I would have posted the video. You'd have seen the man wide open on Sunday morning jumping up. Hey, play
Man,
Cam.
man,
But
Jesus.
Cam wanted to. And again, this is one of the things why, a lot of pundits are critical of him because I don't know if it's a hair on his head, but his IQ seemed to be missing. Because you do not have a timeout. Why are you going to run the ball?
Mm-mm.
Like you don't have a timeout at all. So I don't like you can run the ball and then call timeout and save time. You don't have, and what Washington, remember now, what the Washington football team will do, those defensive linemen, they'll sit on you and waste time. So when Cam run the ball, they just sit on him, and by the
Mm-hmm.
time you get off, that's enough time. But Wally, go ahead.
Your
The
turn,
floor is
Wally.
yours.
As you see my caption, the defense let down Superman. Cam Newton, he had a very good game. They for he had a passer rating of um I think it was 120, I believe. I just want to give you right 120 passer rating of 120. No, this is from a quarterback back who they say can't throw 21 of 27 in terms of completion versus passes attempted, and that touchdown that he threw to Christian McCaffrey was an absolute beauty. So what Cam did was in that game is do what a lot of persons said he was not able to do, throw the ball. No, that last position, you see, the thing is that I yes, he missed the person. But if the defense did what they were supposed to do, we wouldn't be having that conversation, right? The defense was unable to stop the run. Taylor Heineke had a passer rating of 141.3. Taylor Heineke, 141.3. Those passer ratings you're associating with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, right? You have Taylor Heineke having that sort of night against you. They were unable to stop the run, and these things just put Cam on put the offense of the eight ball. Also, time of possession. They had the Washington football team had the ball for over 35 minutes. They had the ball for 35 minutes plus, right? So they dominated the time at possession. They kept the offense off the field. They allowed the defense allowed multiple third and fourth down conversions.
All right,
And in
Wally,
addition to that,
Wally,
let me
Wally,
just
Wally.
finish.
1 second, 1 second,
Sure.
1 second, 1 second. Right. So I know what you're saying, but let me tell you something about Carolina defense. The weakness of Carolina defense is the run game. Like everybody knows that. So if you run the ball effectively against them, like that is not from Cam Newton. That is from game one, right? So if you run the ball effectively against them, then you will have success. However, I want you to answer this in a little soliloquy, right? How is it that you can have a starting quarterback who throw the ball 28 times but cannot achieve 200 yards passing? I just want you to address that in a little soliloquy as well.
No, but what is the it all depends on what is available to him. Remember also he had 60 yards rushing, right? He
No,
had
he had 46 yards rushing.
46, sorry, 46
Mm-hmm,
yard rushing.
mm-hmm.
So the fact that he didn't have 200 yards, that is neither here nor there. You take what the defense gives you, right? You take what it doesn't make sense. You have huge yardage, and at the end of the day, you're not capitalizing on that. You got into the end zone, which is what is critical. Yardage is not what is critical. It is getting to the end zone. That is what is critical. If you remember the first time the Chiefs and the Bucks played, right? Tyreek Hill must probably had 200 yards in the first half alone. What was the final score? They only won by 3 points. They only won by 3 points. So all the yardage is nice for those who are playing fantasy football. But if though all those yards don't translate to you getting in the end zone, then that is really just irrelevant. So he got into the end zone, and by throwing touchdown passes as well as adding a rushing touchdown.
All right. So you know why the Carolina Panthers lost the game? They lost the game because Cam Newton was poor on third down. You can say at the coach, you can say at whoever, but Cam Newton is the quarterback, so you are the person who I'm looking at, right? You are the person who come and tell me say you're back and whatever the case is. Cam Newton was poor on third down. The Carolina Panthers are too much 3-0 because if you remember, Carolina was leading 14 nothing, right? They were
Right.
leading, and the game ended up 27-21, right?
So
So
right.
so
So
that so
how they
you
get
can
to 27?
hold on. So you can blame the defense all you want, but the offense still got enough opportunities to score points, and they didn't, right? That's all I'm saying. Carolina has a weak run defense, so they will always run the ball against Carolina. Everybody, and that's why That's why Carolina is favored this
All
week
right.
against the Miami Dolphins.
Ye-
Add one thing to that. What I always preach is consistency, because that same thing that you just mentioned,
Mm.
we knocked Baker Mayfield for it, saying that when he come on to the third down and he wasn't consistent at one point, the coach wasn't calling the play for him because he was poor on third down. It was the same thing I saw in that game when he come on to some third down with Cam Newton.
Yep. Yep. So
No,
So
but
we
but
just have to call a spade a spade.
no, but if you you see what I find so interesting, that when his quarterbacks like Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson, the narrative is, boy, they should have done more. When it's Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, is always, boy, the defense let them down. How can you be leading 14 zip and the game in 21-27, and you're putting the loss at the feet of the quarterback. I just can't wrap my
Because,
mind around that.
well, let me tell you why you can't wrap your mind around it. Because from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, your quarterback only scored 7 points. That is not good enough. That is not winning football. You can say whatever you want to say. That is not winning football. When Aaron Rodgers, and definitely not Patrick Mahomes this season, but in past seasons, those guys are throwing 4 touchdowns, 300 and odd yards, 400 and odd yards. They are doing their part. But Cam Newton, and that is the same reason why persons wanted him out of New England, because not only is he not getting the yardage he's supposed to get in, but he's not playing a part of the offense. Big up Fresh God. You know, see somebody saying Cam washed up. It's as simple as that.
But but
Uh,
if, but those aren't the stats of somebody who is washed up. That whoever said that don't have a clue about this NFL team.
oh, all right. So, uh, you know, Cam Newton, here's another opportunity this week against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins don't have a run game, so the defense should stand up. But I still pick the Dolphins to win this game because I just don't think that Cam Newton can do enough to propel his team to victory. And that is just my thing. If you don't mind, producer, can you put up the Sunday schedule for me, please? Because some games played on Thursday, so I just want us to look at these games that are being played on Sunday, because these games are crucial on Sunday. So, producer, if you can just put those up for me, please. The Sunday schedule. And there's the producer over there asleep, or I'm up and running. All right. So look at this. So look at this game, right? So
Which one?
You have the Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. Big game. But even a bigger game is the Eagles versus the Giants and the Vikings versus the 49ers, right? Why are those games big games, Wally? Because the 49ers
Yeah.
are right there in the playoff hunt, so is the Vikings, so is the Eagles, right? So if Panthers lose this game, right, I spoke about it last week. I want to say, hey, if Cam Newton will this team to the playoffs, he might get a year extension contract, right? But I honestly believe that if he doesn't will this team to the playoff, I think Carolina was all right. We're selling enough tickets, we're selling enough jersey, we got back a buzz in the building, but we're going to cut bait with this guy because clearly this guy is not good enough, to be amongst the elites. Of course, I still believe he's better than Sam Darnold, but I think Carolina will be in the draft or looking to trade for probably Jimmy Garoppolo because Garoppolo going to become available because they want to use Trey Lance. So I think Cam at this stage of his career is a backup at best. I think he's a backup at best. And I'm not even being disrespectful. Big up yourself, Gary Dixon. Welcome, boss. You know,
Yeah,
you
man.
know, yeah. I think Cam is a backup at best. I'm not even lying. Like he couldn't. You couldn't beat out Matt. You could have beat out Matt Jones. That already showed me you know, say you're not good enough. But he has an opportunity to prove me wrong for the remainder of the season. They have 6 more games left. They have to win at least 4 of those games in order to make it to the playoffs. We can just say the Saints are out right now because the Saints are
Saints are good,
just
man. A good
yeah,
one.
the Saints are
Yeah,
we can just say the Saints are out right now.
need
So
a quarterback.
Gary, do you have anything to add about Cam Newton? Do you think he's the man for Carolina?
No, I was just listening to you and saying that I'm hearing you saying he's a backup at best.
Yeah.
Well, if he's a backup at best, then I think about 45% of the quarterbacks in the league that are starting should be backups then.
Thank
So
you
we
very
have
much, sir.
15
Thank
teams
you
in the
very
league.
much, sir.
I'm not even saying I'm a big fan of Cam Newton like Wally West. I am not a Cam hater either. I'm somewhere in the, not saying that you are, but when I'm analyzing what is happening in the league and a lot of the quarterbacks that are starting for
Yes.
teams, I know Cam Newton is far past his best. Don't get me wrong. He won't be that prolific quarterback running, and he was good at throwing occasionally. But what I'm seeing from him, he still has the potential to make some noise and cause damage from teams, even in the regular season with the games that he played against at Washington. Game that they played. Yes. He made some plays, and I think he was let down. The defense really was not all that up to scratch, but I think he could have won that game. But when I looked at that game, to be honest, if that was PJ Walker or Sam Darnold, they wouldn't even be have a chance in that game in the fourth quarter, because Sam Darnold has
all right. Hold on,
people
Gary.
want to make him. I think Sam Darnold and PJ Walker is not
Hold on, Gary.
special. But
Hold on, Gary. Hold on, Gary. You see, on this particular podcast, we don't give out good try medal. We don't give out effort medals. So I don't want to hear, well, oh, he was close. He almost won the game. You know, that's not the business that we are in right now. You know,
Understandable,
as I said before, he just didn't do enough. He just didn't do enough.
I'm not saying that he is the future, you know, for Panthers, because to be honest, he spent 8-9 years there, and he's about thereabouts. So, you know, he might be a short-term answer for them. I'm not saying that they won't draft a quarterback next year or the other 2 years. But for now, I think he can hold the fort until they get something better, because they don't have any other option right now.
All right, so hear me out. So you tell me that he's better than half the quarterbacks in the league. So I'm going to call out the starting quarterbacks, and I want you guys to tell me which one of them Cam is better.
45% about, not quite half, but
45. All right. Okay. Sure. No
about
problem.
45.
All right, so let's start. Matt Ryan.
No.
Cam Newton better than Matt Ryan.
That's a toss-up. All right, to be honest, Kems, that's a toss-up to how Matt Ryan is playing now. So I can't definitively say yes or no. So that's a toss-up. That's a gimme. I don't even know what is that.
I'm give Cam the hedge right there, son.
No, you can't give Cam the edge. Why? If Cam Newton was on the Falcons team with no Calvin Ridley, no running game, like no offensive line, Cam would have looked like an absolute scrub. No defense, like he's not better than Matt Ryan. I can't better than Matt Ryan.
To be honest, Kems, if I take Matt Ryan out that team and put Cam Newton, all right, the team has presently constructed that Matt Ryan is playing with Atlanta Falcons. If I remove Matt Ryan and put Cam Newton, I categorically can tell you, I don't think the Falcons would have a worse record. Maybe 1 win less or 1 win more. I don't know. I can't say that. I can't say he would make them much worse with that team.
Okay, so we're gonna say tie.
Maybe it's a wash. Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Come on, move. Take Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson out of the mix.
Kirk Cousins.
Who?
Kirk Cousins.
Well, Kirk Cousins playing very well right now.
Hell no.
Kirk Cousins playing. No, not currently. Not currently.
Who? We're not hear you.
Carson Wentz.
Wins? Roxy wins? Of course.
Current form,
him no better than him. I'll tell you who is better than. I'll give him better than Jared Goff. I'll give you that he's better than Jared Goff.
All right, go on.
I'll give you Jared Goff. I don't see anybody else he's better than but Jared Goff. That's it. And I'll give you.
Teddy Bridgewater is better.
No. I just saw him. I'll give you Teddy Bridgewater as well.
What do you think QB?
Tyrod Taylor? No. He's not better than Tyrod Taylor.
What? Yo, Kim.
Move on. Yeah,
I must say I want Thanksgiving through all this. Tyrod Taylor, Bridget?
No, he's not better than Tyrod Taylor. Hey, you don't see Tyrod Taylor just beat the Titans just the other day.
Not a flips business.
Oh boy. All right. Hey, so the next thing I want to talk about. Now go ahead, Devin.
No. I'm asking you.
All right. Yeah. So next thing I definitely want to talk about. I want to talk about who is our MVP, right? Who is our MVP for the season just far? We have gone. We are now in week 12, and it's obviously 17 weeks, and I believe we have enough sample size to talk about who we think our MVP is. And I'll go ahead. I will start with you, Devin. Who do you think is the MVP of the league?
All right. Well, you have a lot of quarterbacks playing good, and then I was thinking about it from yesterday. Right. I was looking at Rodgers and I was looking at Arizona quarterback. Right. Arizona
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona quarterback. What guy name? Brain freeze.
Oh,
Uh,
Kyler Murray. Kyler
Kyler
Murray.
Murray. Right. But then when I look at the team overall, I know there's nobody saying anything about. I think Arizona has the better record, but there's nobody saying anything about Green Bay. Everybody was saying before the season that the defense. So, I was watching even on some of these shows saying that the defense is not all that as it's supposed to be. They're good in the wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but people are more looking at a complete team for for Arizona. So that's why I'm not gonna give the edge to Aaron Rodgers because after that first game when I think he still was having like some his mind wasn't in the game with all the off field distraction. So he come up and then I see him without the main starters. No one I see him without some with starters out in game and he's still winning. He's still winning without like at least 7 of the starters out, without Adams out, other big name players out. And he's winning with players. So I have to go with Aaron Rodgers. I know something has a better record. Arizona has the better record, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron
All
Rodgers.
right.
Yeah.
And how about you, Gary?
So, saying from looking at the candidate mix, last week I think, or the week before, Rodgers, I think it was the week the shutout, and it was coming back from COVID. But looking at the game that they lost to the Vikings, he still played well. Defense, yeah, an account for them in that game. Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals have the better. But look at it, he has missed a few games.
Three games actually.
But when it comes to these 3 games, that must be considered, and in voters' minds, these things are usually considered. Tom Brady is looking at the overall body of work so far, and what's been done, the weapons that Rodgers has working with in a few of the games, getting him back recently, and even in that the Vikings, he really played well. I think he might still have the nod MVP discussion. As I said, Tom Brady was right, but he didn't play so well. The last game I put up, I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns Washington, and the last he didn't play so well. So the Buccaneers were plateauing up and down, and I said the other quarterbacks in the mix were at one point I think Stafford and the names. Dak, you know what happened with the Cowboys the last few games. Dak has really dropped off, losing to the Raiders, and the game before that they have a stinker. So you can see Rodgers is kind of projecting himself a little bit more out there than the other candidates, and I think Kyler Murray's case was hurt really by, no pun intended, by him being hurt. So I would really give Rodgers a nod now. As I said, we have about 6 more games there. About I think going down to the last 3-4 games, we will see it being more eminent at that time. But I personally would give Rodgers the edge right now.
All right. So let me tell you who I think Rodgers should be the MVP right now, right? But they're going to give it to Tom Brady. Why? One is media sensationalism. 2, Tom Brady has thrown for 3,177 yards so far this season. Zin? Tom Brady has also thrown for 29 touchdowns,
29. 28 or
right?
29? Oh,
20,
that's about that.
29 touchdowns,
29, yeah.
Yeah. See it appears on the screen. He's thrown for 29 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Four more than any other, four more than Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron
And,
Rodgers is not even in the picture, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know what the media going to say. Oh, Tom Brady. Oh, he's 44. Oh, and he's still throwing the ball like
And,
he's 17. So, I
and
think Tom
Kim,
Brady is going to win it. Yeah, go ahead.
Kim's to add to that, though, what you're saying. Personally, I think they're going to give it to Tom Brady, unless he really comes down in the next few games. He has like 6 picks and about 5 touchdowns. But typically, when you look at the season, Rodgers is having, even though the team record is good, his numbers are not there in the years with like 2011 when he had a record-breaking QBR season, 2015
Yeah,
as
his
well,
numbers are down. His
and
numbers are
most
down for sure.
recently. It's way down because I was looking at it 240 pass yards per game. I think even Ben Roethlisberger has like 5 more yards per game than him, and Ben Roethlisberger is really not special this season. So his numbers really have kind of come down from. So looking at it, typically a MVP candidate for a top team which has a good record, has to be up there in terms of touchdowns and yards, and has to be playing prolific and throwing the ball very well. But he's not really having one of those seasons. So I personally think, from my standpoint, give him it right now, but he's not going to get it based on quarterback numbers that you have to put up. So Tom Brady looks like he's the candidate, unless really he has in the next the lay a stinker, the Bucks like lose 4 games and he plays terrible.
And then to add to you guys' point, right? I'm looking at their schedule going forward. It's only really one tough game they have, leave. And it's against the
That's
Bills. Because they are, the Tampa.
That's
They
the
have
Tampa
Falcons,
game.
they have Saints, they have Panthers, they have Jets,
Yeah.
Panthers, and Bills. Like, it's only one real tough team they have, and it's Buffalo. So I'm expecting to see, just like you said, those numbers being inflated. Well, not inflated, because inflated would suggest that they're pushing the numbers more than it's supposed to be. Those numbers to go up, to really, like you're saying.
All right, but while you mentioned that, Devin, look at this
Yeah.
now. Aaron Rodgers' schedule is Rams, Bears, Ravens, Browns, Vikings, Lions. So if
Murderer's
he
row. That's a murderer's row. Only the Lions really, and if you want to say the Browns, not special, but that's really good.
If Aaron Rodgers managed to come out of this, probably only losing one more game and playing well, the strength of schedule might help him.
Yeah, that's true.
The strength of
Right.
schedule might help
If
him.
they get those wins, okay. Right.
Yeah, but you might forget the W. You might forget the W. All right, so going into this season, we were talking about running backs, right? We were talking about Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, and Dalvin Cook. But producer, if you can put up the running back list for me, please. About the rushing leaders, the league rushing leaders. If you can put up that for me, please. I want to mention this guy, Jonathan Taylor. From last season, when Philip Rivers was there, I was watching this guy and I was like, this guy seems to, he has a future. He has a future to be the best running back in this league, and his running style is different than Derrick Henry. He's not going to bulldoze it, but he finds those little creases, and we are now in week 12, and he has 1,122 yards. Obviously, he's not threatening, none of those Derrick Henry record. But I want to say, out of all the running backs right now, I think this guy, is the best running back we have in the league right now. And I think, this, because remember, this week, Devin, on Sunday, Indy plays against the Bucks. The Colts plays against the Bucks, and I picked the Colts to win. I picked the Colts to win this game because I think that Carson Wentz is playing good, I think that this guy Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that the Bucks defense, because I watched Washington run over the Bucks defense.
They're poor
So I
against the
don't.
run the last few games.
Yep. Yep. So I don't know if you guys agree with me, but if you guys have someone else in contention, you could just go ahead and let me know.
Yeah.
Go. All right. Yeah, as I see, Jonathan Taylor has been very, very prolific the last few games. The last game he had 5 touchdowns and ran the ball for 100. I think he's almost 200 yards. He was very prolific in the last game, and he has gotten some, put him in the mix as well. But yeah, persons are saying that, but I don't really think they will really consider, because one, is not one of those prolific names. As a candidate, even at running back. And I was saying he has really he started well last season, but this season is really his coming out party. So I really see him doing well for the rest of the season. But I agree. This game coming up against the Bucks will be a very, very good game. I feel he will have at least 100 yards. The Bucks have from last season into this season, I think they were probably the number 1 rush defense earlier in the season up to week 8, 9 thereabout. They were teetering at 1 with the Saints being second. The last few games up some big rushing yards. So I expect this week Jonathan Taylor to have a very good game, because they are really, I think they had some injuries on the team. I know I really expect Jonathan Taylor to have a big game, and if they can't stop the run, Carson Wentz, once he has that play action going and he does have to sling the ball around and doing superhero gunslinging duties, I think he will keep the mistakes minimal, because he has been playing really well of late, because Jonathan Taylor is really running the ball well. So I expect him to have a big game, and Kim speak the Colts. I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I really think the Bucks can hold them off. I'm not sure where the game is being played. So the Bucks.
It's not.
No, it's Indianapolis.
India. Oh well. That would be very good for India as well. So don't be surprised if the Colts win though. But I expect him to have a very good game. Running the ball. Trust me.
All right. So before we go ahead and pick the games for Sunday, I want us to play a little game, right? And the name of the game is Keep or Leave, right? Mm-hmm. The game is going to be Keep or Leave. So Devin and Gary, you guys are the owners, right? You guys are the owners. I am the GM. I'm coming to you with this person, either a quarterback or a coach. And you are going to tell me we are going to keep him or we are going to let him go through the door. All right? So, and you give me a reason. You give me a reason, basically, why. All right? So, Devin, I'm going to start with you. Baker Mayfield.
I'm gonna trade him.
You're gonna trade him. Why?
All right. He's been in the league for how many years? Like going to 4 years?
Yes.
Right. And then now this is the year where you say you're gonna play for that franchise tag, right?
Yep.
Last year you had a good season, and then this year now you have no complaints. You're loaded right throughout. Loaded right throughout, and it's not transforming into W's, right? And it's not because of anybody's fault. I've seen some games where, like, if I look at it from my owner, I'm seeing that the coach don't trust him, and his play is not up to standard. So trust me, I'm not keeping him. I'm looking to see if I could get somebody else. I could trade for him or get somebody else from him. I don't know if they could get somebody else in the draft, but like I try to find a different QB. I think I'll move on from Baker.
Move on from Baker, and I must add to that. If you have a quarterback, in the NFL where everything has to be perfect for him to win, then you don't want that quarterback, right? Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah, leave.
No. Maybe you're somebody else now.
Oh yeah, give me somebody else. I'm the one pile on from Baker. right, Kims. All right. Fine,
I'm
fine,
giving
fine.
you the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll.
Oh,
Mm.
Pete Carroll.
Do you keep
Mm.
him or do you say, hey Pete,
Yeah.
you are now 3-7 or 3-8. We don't seem to make in the playoff. You're very old. Your style is old. You have a young quarterback who wants to cook, but you are not letting him cook. Do you keep Pete Carroll or do you say go through the door?
Leave. And that's not because he's a bad coach. I would leave
Yes.
basically at this stage in his career because you have mentioned a few factors there. Um, his age, he's up in age. I think he's about 65. He's one of the top five oldest coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've heard about his leadership style in the locker room. He's not very flexible. He's not good with personalities, and his personalities up conflict with his players at times. So basically, they had their run, the Legion of Boom. They went to a couple Super Bowls. Last one, they were a prolific defense. In the region of 2012 to about 16 thereabout. I would actually move on from Pete Carroll because they're not gonna get any better. I know the issues they have issues with their defense. I know the offensive line. Russell Wilson is not getting any younger. He's still he's has some years ahead of him. He's not in his prime, but he still has some years to go in his prime. At least I'd say 2 to 3 more years. Don't waste it. They have not been improving over the last 2 seasons, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't think at this stage they will get better with him at the helm. So I would basically go for a coach with a different leadership style, a coach with more years ahead of him. Look into the future because as I said, he's not really getting younger, and he's one of the older coaches. So I'd move on from him
All right.
for those reasons.
All right. Well said. Devin,
Mm.
the Jets coach, Robert Saleh, you know, just hey Michelle, Jets coach now just coming over from the San Francisco 49ers being a defensive coach. Now his first head coaching job. Seemed to can't get the quarterback right. They traded back for Joe Flacco, just trying to get something right. Um, he is a defensive coach, however, his team is giving up the most points per game in the league. Are we going to give this coach another year, or it's time for him to leave?
I am I'm let me think about it. Yes. I'm moving on from him. I've seen a lot of Jets game, like I said, I see a lot of Jets game. And where I look on it, it's not even the defensive issues, because I know he's coming out from 49ers as a big defensive time coach, but I've not seen it. Well, he's a rookie. I've not seen him like put the quarterback in any good like Zach to make him have like good games. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing like the other quarterback came in the other day and did well, but then he's going back to the same. Like he's confused on which quarterback to use, what's his style of play going forward. I mean, you can't compare him to a Belichick, right? And maybe Zach is a total different level of talent from the guy what's the quarterback down in New England, Mac Jones. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Zach is a total different quarterback.
Matt Joe.
Total different, yeah, probably a different quality of talent, but I see where Belichick like do with a rookie QB, and probably to another argument maybe that Bill Belichick is way above this coach's level.
Yep.
But just do a little comparison. Both one thing is standard and it's equal across the board, that both are rookie QBs, right?
Yep.
And the job I see doing with him, it may be argued that he's around a better team, but guess what? I think he has done a better job in comparison to what I see him doing with him. And I don't really like him to be as a good coach either. So I would move on from it.
All right. And the last one, Gary, Teddy Bridgewater of the Denver Broncos, right? When you look at this Denver Broncos team, defense, they're top 10. They have some great offensive weapons, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Sutton. The one of Denver's biggest problem is that they always need a quarterback. After Peyton Manning, they never got a quarterback after him. So, do you keep Teddy Bridgewater, or do you say, Teddy, time to go?
Oh, leave. I'd pass on Teddy Bridgewater, to be honest. And you mentioned that a lot of quarterbacks have been, through the revolving door of the Denver Broncos, after Peyton Manning left and they won the last Super Bowl. They never seem to have gotten it right. And we are suffering from a product of them, Trevor Simeon. The same time. I don't know if the John Elway is doing a good job. Well, let me reserve that for another time. But I don't know if they are making the right picks at quarterback. I've seen Teddy Bridgewater. He was in New Orleans season before last as a backup to Drew Brees. He went 5-0, remember, in a particular period when Brees had his shoulder injury, I think it was. And he's a game manager at best. If you have a sound system around him, the game, you have running game and all of that, he will do that much not to lose the game. But he's not one of, because you have different types or levels of quarterbacks. The ones, the Aaron Rodgers, the Mahomes, the Brady, the guys that will, throw you to a victory. They will take you out of a hole and win a game for you. He's like elite, top-level franchise quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater can be a starting quarterback in the league, but he's not. When you have him, you're not necessarily guaranteed or you won't necessarily win a Super Bowl. You're not a world beater. And it's not impossible for you to win a Super Bowl with, him. But as I said, you have to go back in the days when you have the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens, because quarterbacks who are not big and prolific and big names have won the Super Bowl with teams. But the team has to be a next level team on the defense and all avenues are all, sides of the ball. But this Denver team, as I said, they have very good defense. They have Jared Judy, a couple good offensive weapons, but they really need more than just a middle of the pack game manager. So I think they really should move on from Teddy Bridgewater, because truth be told, they can get more offensive weapons, get a few more receivers, strengthen the offensive line, get a prolific running back out of the draft. The quarterback really is the one that takes you to that next level. So I don't really see Bridgewater doing anything much for the Broncos, carrying them forward. I would really move on from him and try to see if I can, get a draft pick, develop some quarterback coming out of the draft. Or, as I said, speculations were around about Aaron Rodgers' career, and if he leaves, maybe they can get a run, trying to trade for him or trying to get him on the team. But outside of that, I don't see Bridgewater really doing anything for the Broncos long term. So I'll leave, move on from him.
I totally agree. And now, producer, can you put up the Sunday schedule again for us, please? We're just going to.
Can I put you as an owner and just give you one player?
Sure.
What about Tua?
Yeah,
Devin, you're wicked boy. You're wicked in the man.
Tua.
You're smart though, and him knows that is
No. You put Kems in our tights, but him love Tua, but let me see where man.
Tua, I'm definitely keeping Tua. Why? I'm keeping Tua. Tua is on a 3-game winning streak. Why? I'm keeping Tua. He's thrown over 200, 250 yards in his last 3 games. Why am I keeping Tua? He has got the turnovers down. He is marshalling that offense as he should. Why am I? If you're not getting somebody as a Deshaun Watson, then I'll definitely keep Tua. I have to get a transcendent talent for don't keep Tua.
Kemp, can I throw something out there to you?
Yeah.
And I've heard it, and you see it as well. What about his health? Tua is really has a problem staying healthy, long term. And I think it can get worse. I really think they say best avail. There's a statement or a cliche out there. I don't remember exactly, but he has that his health concerns is really an issue. And I've heard James and a lot of persons speak to that.
We'll talk
All
about
right.
that next week. We'll talk about that next week. All right.
You will
So
talk
these
about.
are the
All right, all
games.
right. All right.
So these are the games for Sunday. All right. So we are
Okay.
just gonna pick. We're just picking the winners. No scoreline or nothing. Just the winners. Right. So I'll go first. So I have the Eagles over the Giants. The Colts over the Bucks. The Dolphins over the Panthers. The Falcons over the Jaguars. Packers over the Rams, Ravens over the Browns, Patriots over the Titans, Houston over the Jets, Pittsburgh over the Bengals, Chargers over the Broncos, 49ers over the Vikings. Big up yourself, Demo. Devin, run it
Yeah.
really quickly.
All right. I'll go with Eagles. I'm going with Tampa. I'm going with the Panthers. I'm going with Falcons. Then Green Bay. I'm going with the Ravens. Who's that right there? I'm going to the Patriots. I'm going with Houston. I'm going with Bengals and Chargers and 49ers.
All right, so Devin and I differ in three. Devin want to go with the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gary, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, my games. I'm rolling with the Buccaneers over the Colts. I was initially thinking about it, and the game is in the but I'll
On to the
stick with
first
them.
game. The first game,
The first game.
The Eagles and the
Oh, that's what you're
Giants.
picking. I was looking at it on my NFL schedule on the side. All right. All right. All right. I'm going the Eagles over the Giants. I'm going with the Texans over the Jets. The Bucks over the Colts. I'm going with the Panthers over the Dolphins. Tennessee, New England. I'm going with the New England Patriots over the Titans. The Bengals over the Steelers. Going with the Falcons over the Jaguars. Going with the Chargers over the Broncos. Working with the Packers over the Rams. Then I'm going with the Vikings over the
49ers.
Niners.
Wow.
Yes. The Ravens over the Cleveland Browns. Let me work with Seattle over Washington. Yeah, for that final game.
Oh, never
That's
see the
the
Monday
Monday.
game.
Oh, that's the Monday game. Okay.
The Monday
All right.
night.
All right, gentlemen. So, we're definitely going to wrap up the show now, obviously. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to talk about whatever. You already know what is out of bounds, what not to talk about. So, Devin,
Really out
go ahead.
about tonight.
Oh, but I'm gonna talk about Lakers, but not as a team. I'm gonna talk about LeBron, and it's not really about his play or his game. Well, it's like on the page, I've seen some people, like even making some memes about LeBron being a girl or being, ladylike by, orchestrating the removal of two fans from the arena, right? But then now some people are saying, oh, he's advocating for these people to be removed, and they got removed. And at the same time, he's making some obscene gestures, and he got fined for it and all of that. But to his defense, right? And I'm
Yes.
seeing from multiple reports, because I'm no LeBron defender or whatever. Multiple reports that one of the reasons, or the main reason why he advocated for those people to be removed, one of the ladies said that, oh, I wish Bronny died in a motor vehicle accident, in a car accident. That's what he
Unacceptable.
said. So it's
Unacceptable.
like it doesn't matter you have trash talk and everything. You understand? I would be upset if they had said something about his wife, and because of his wife, LeBron go ask, and and as a married man, this is where I'm coming from. If they said something about your wife or whatever, fine, you can live with that. Even if they say your wife is a whatever, but kids are off limits. You get what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
I mean, I've seen multiple reports about saying that that's what they said about his child. the person who said it has not confirmed or denied anything. But to me, kids are off limit bar. So all these people saying, "Oh, he's a whatever for making people remove." No, no. Like, and if you said that about, if that said, Tim, "Oh, Brady not good. Brady not making the NBA. Brady's a scrub." Fine.
Mhm.
But to say that the man you wish his child die in an accident, if it is true, nope. That's totally
Well,
that's totally,
Demo,
that's
All
all.
right, Devin,
Demo.
Devin, one quick correction though, Devin. They didn't actually say it's kids. They said, I wish Brandon died in a car crash. Know what I'm going to ask you, Devin?
Yeah.
Aren't fans allowed to talk whatever they want and talk shit?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's why you're.
understand, but the fans are allowed to say whatever, you know. But like to me, that's all I see it. I see whatever. Say, yo, you can say whatever, but you could talk about my kids, brother. No, I will advocate for that fan to
The
be
reason,
out.
the
So
reason I said that, all right, I get where you're coming from, but for instance, schoolboy football, even the National Premier League down here, right? Regular would say a player might make a mistake. A year the fans then call him B boy, go his your mother and all of them things there, right? So I'm
yes,
saying that it's something that
but
happens
how
right
many
across
times
the
the
board.
players hear all of that?
Go again?
How many times the players hear all of that?
A lot of them hear it.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, Levon, and I'll respond to that. The thing is, not because them do it mean it's right. You know, not because them do it mean it's a standard, right? And you know, I believe there's a particular broken culture that we have in our country where, you know, where patrons believe that they can get away with saying anything of that sort. And I don't know how is it that we can fix that, but there is no way a 16-year-old guy is supposed to be playing Manning Cup and miss a goal and you hear got your mother. There is no way a 16-year-old boy will be called a homosexual slur. Like that is just unacceptable. And you can't say, yeah, a banter and it's the same thing we open up the show with. It can be banter to you and a dick to a next man. Him can go
That's
home
true,
and
Mr.
just
Oz, but I'm not advocating for it, because personally for me, if one thing I refrain from is telling people about their mother, right? Even more so since I lost mine. So
yeah.
I'm not saying that I agree with it, but what I'm saying is that fans start these things over and over and over. Will they change? I don't know.
Demo. To answer to
Well,
Demo, like it's just to each his own, Demo. To each his own. So cause personally, if a man tell me about mother, cause me know the Jamaican culture, man say whatever your mother, me avoid. If a man tell me something about my youth, them, me I go fight him. I just mean that. I just mean that, man. Like Demo, I'm not knock your point. I'm just saying, oh, I feel like I just feel like people, kids, like especially kids, them not get their chance to grow up and can defend
yep,
themselves. You
yep,
love people, kids. Tell
yep,
me anything
exactly,
self mad about my wife, fine. Cause them they're adult. But like look at you them, leave them outside.
exactly,
That's how me see. That's
exactly.
all.
I'm really appalled that Dima would ask a question like this, but you know, the kids are defenseless, right? Kids are defenseless, so you know you leave kids out of your mouth, and just like how if you want to say fans have the right to say anything, okay, them can say anything, and LeBron have the right to make them get kicked out. So okay, you want to use your mouth and run them out, all right, no problem. You know, get out the stadium. Like they have to, you know, you can boo him, you can tell him same suck, you can tell him same no good, you can tell him whatever it is. But there's a particular decorum that we must exhibit in this world. Like we can't just go out and just a free ball like say everything is okay. Like no, like we can't do that. Like that's
All right, so
impossible.
Kems, even though it's NFL, I'm just going to draw a little parallel with football.
Yeah.
Now, the other day I saw people tend to use it as a meme, but to me, I took it more serious than that. So, you know that most of them dislike Harry Maguire. And you know the situation of Sergio Aguero. So there was this meme going on saying that Maguire should donate his heart and his lungs to Aguero. And people find fun in that. And people laughed about it. So I'm like, these are the extent that fans will go to right now in
Yep.
today's day and age.
Yep. Yep. I totally agree with you. I never see that one, you know, but you know, like things like that. Like I'm not sure, like I'm not know what people find them thing that funny. You know, I don't know people find them thing that funny at all because you know somebody is going through a particular situation and instead of you know empathize with somebody, you decide okay, well now it's time for you. And I get it. Anytime people are behind a computer screen, then type anything, then post anything because obviously nobody can do nothing. And you see, if it was on level, and I'm saying, you see, if it was a thing where anything you say, the NBA players can just come and when they can just start fight, I promise you, a lot of things that are being said wouldn't be said. But because they know that there's a particular restraint that has to be and a particular professionalism that these NBA players have to uphold. Because if you look at it, NBA fans have said things to Russell Westbrook, and all of them, and they have gotten upset. To answer Demo question, so if Bronny was 25 and he's LeBron's son, would it make it all right? So this is my thing. Devin said that. You see, there are certain things that's out of bounds to me. And wishing death on anybody. My grandmother could have been 206 and she had dead tomorrow. You wish death for my grandmother, we are going to have problems. So wishing death on anybody, like them things that are out of bounds. The SM other thing, I'm not subscribe to that neither. Jamaican or not, I'm not subscribe to that. Man, we're getting a whole bunch of problems with them thing there as well. So as Devin said, it's just to each his own. I'm sure when LeBron heard that, because the person who posted it on Twitter said that they were saying it for a very long time. They continuously say it over and over and over till the man just couldn't take no more. Sometimes you try ignore. The man just couldn't take no more. Someone's all right, and then worse, they were losing too. So someone say, just get out of there. So I totally agree with you. But continue, Devin.
I'm done, man. I might think that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Gary, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just gonna spend a couple. Just add to what Devin was saying. Not really what I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna do a follow up on it. Everybody know that I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, and I saw some posts on the KLS page and persons were saying it's a cry bitch and cry baby and whatever. And I blasted the person that was there, and I'm saying, how do you reach to a point where you are playing a sport? It's a sport you're playing, You open your mouth and say, I wish your son died in a car. What has that to do with sport? I'm saying that the man, remember, the man is a human being, right? The man has a father. He has a child. The person that is there saying that they probably have a son too, or a daughter, the lady or the guy that is there. Imagine they are playing a sport, they are competitive, and the tables are turned, and somebody will look at him and say, I wish your child dies in an accident. What benefit has that to anybody? That doesn't make any sense to me. So when it goes out of bounds, that has nothing to do with sport. We are all humans. Death, wishing death for somebody, death in grand scheme of things, whether you hate the person, personally like the person or not. Like, death is something that you don't even wish on an enemy like that. People wish it on enemies. You don't wish that is something that you don't take frivolous. So I object to it. And personally, if I was LeBron, I would move them up out of the stadium. Personally, I think they shouldn't be back in that stadium. I don't know if it was Indiana or where they were playing, but they should be banned from
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana.
It's an embarrassment, and I think the league needs to step in and do something about it. But I personally object to that. I don't want somebody wish death on my child, and I'm upset. And this is one time I give LeBron the thumbs up. Is when it comes to basketball, me always trouble LeBron about him this and him that or whatever. But come on, the man have a son and you want the man's son dead in a car accident. It's a joke.
So Demo, hold on, Demo. So you're telling me that in order to show the opponent off their game, you can't think of nothing else in the world. Like Demo, you sound like Demo, you sound like a baboon right now, brother. You tell me say, in order for throw somebody off of them game, you can't think about nothing else in the world. But you have to say, well, hey, I wish your son dead. That's the only ammunition where you can possibly have.
That is very low. That's the mentality. That's a lower cognitive.
No, Demo.
Branny ain't gonna make it to the NBA. Branny.
No, Demo are trolling tonight.
Troll. If you want to say his son not good, his son a trash. If you want to say his son big, his son earline and recede like yours, his son have a handicapped foot.
My daughter can beat your son. My daughter can beat your son. You can't find anything else to say.
There's 1 million things you can say to throw a man off him.
Well, I think because Demo is a gelding, so it probably really understand
that.
the
I mean,
understand
I'm
the
a gelding too, you know, something know. Maybe I'm not really that. Some gelding's different, but it's ridiculous. It
no
to me, somebody
no
saying
Yeah,
about freedom of expression.
Demo. No,
so
hold
Expression.
on there.
Josh Evans, right? Him have freedom of expression, but I'm saying him can say whatever, but consequences to it. That the man
Yeah,
getting
Exactly.
thrown out.
because people feel that because there's freedom of expression, that means you're exempt from any repercussion.
After the
Because
man
in
goes,
America, you can't go around and tell, if you go, you can't free to express yourself. If I go tomorrow and see a lady on the road, and you see a Jamaican man, them boy, like, them say, yo, more than eat out, you whatever, yo, me than turn your back, me than do.
yeah, and do
The
them things.
Jamaican men
Right,
still. Go to the
The,
States, and you say that it's a sexual harassment, that.
all I know here, Josh is saying that those who got thrown out can file lawsuits. They'll be wasting their time filing the lawsuit, Josh.
For what?
Josh, what do you think this thing is?
Come on.
Josh, you think
That's
it's a
that's
potty shop
ridiculous.
this over here, so like they can
Corner
file on
league, corner
anybody can
league
file.
game. Is that a corner league? That's some
Josh,
corner
if I
league.
walk,
No go
Josh,
work.
if I walk, go outside of my house, and I butt my toe up on my neighbor's stone, I can file a lawsuit for that. That don't mean that my lawsuit are gonna come true. You can file a lawsuit for anything up here, sir.
everything.
Sorry, Joshy. My apologies, Joshy. But yeah, um, hey,
Yeah.
here is
Anything, anything,
here is here is
anything.
here is Demo saying, big up the girl in them, more money in the pockets. Yeah, big up the girl in them for real. Big up yourself, Demo. Big girl in. Here's Demo saying, why do people do racist chants to get people off them game? Demo,
I
this
told
is
him Dima,
again, Demo. Me think say Demo are troll tonight because
yeah, man, I
like
told it tonight.
Dima can't be this clueless. Like, honestly, Dima can't be this clueless. So, I think he's just trolling us tonight, plus, make we have a little
Yeah,
nice
you
time.
seem to be
So,
trolling hard because I don't
I
know
tell
why.
what him go the other day, Kems. I told we bash him on in guy when I top 5 in point
Maybe
guard.
that's
That's
what
why
it is.
I'm too.
tomorrow Dima birthday too, so we can't beat him too bad tonight, so tomorrow and birthday. But finish up, Gary.
In a top 5, man. That's why I'm going. So.
Finish up, Gary.
Oh yeah. All right, yeah, quickly. I don't really want to talk about them still, but I'm gonna finish up. Boy, I'm really disappointed in my NFL team. You know what, you guys know my team, New Orleans Saints, going back to the paperback days. They started out 5-2, last 4 straight, you know what I mean? The offense is really, really, it pains me, it hurt me, my head for watch them. As I said,
Hold
the
on there,
quarterback position.
Hold on, Gary. So Josh Ebanks is saying there's a big rift between Trump supporters and LeBron James. All right, so
Mhm.
check me out, Joshy. There is no evidence to show us that um,
Mhm.
there's no evidence to show us that these persons are Trump supporters. I don't know if you have any evidence. You can share it with us, please. Demo is asking, why do you think people say those things? All right, Demo. I think people say racist chants because one, they are racist. That's what I think. I
True.
think you're racist. All right. For me personally, all right, I don't have a racist bone in me. If I am trying to get somebody off their game, I'm not gonna do no racist chant. Like that not gonna come to me. That not something that gonna come to me. We can think of so many other things to say, so many other things to do than either for wish death on somebody or somebody family, or if you do racist chant, or if you do any sexism, any sexist thing. Like there's so much things out there in the world where you can do, where you can, where you can just roll off of your tongue when not to be racist or none of them something. Yeah. So, I don't really understand where you ask them. Probably that's what you do, Demo, when you are doing it in your cricket and you want to get a batsman out, probably you tell him say, you
Boy,
want
Josh, watch too much.
yeah,
Going
Joshy, you need to
watch
leg off of
news
the
and
Fox.
facts.
I don't watch Joshy. I don't watch Fox at all, because Fox are one
Other
of the.
news.
All right, Go ahead, Gary. Finish up what you're saying.
Yeah, I really want to talk about them because they hurt my head. But all I'm saying is that I personally think based on what I'm seeing happening now, I don't know if they will make the playoffs. They're 5-6. They have about 6 more games. I know they have the Bucks again to play, and they have a few more games against some winning teams. I said they have a number of injuries, but I can't even subscribe injuries to their performance because most teams, almost everybody has that is to know this time of year. And I said the offense is atrocious. The last 4 games, I think they have started the third quarter with 0 points. I know the Titans game and the Falcons game, they came within 2 points. But the offense is just, they don't have a clue. Simeon, as I said, is not that quarterback for them. I can't blame it exclusively on him, but he has to take a lot of the blame. Personally, I think we really need a quarterback. When James comes back next season, I don't see him being a long-term answer either. I know Drew was there and we had a lot of success in terms of the playoffs and the regular season. Didn't get another Super Bowl, but I personally, to me, valuing wins. Person say, all right, doing well in the regular season and making the playoffs is nothing, it's Super Bowl. But it's very hard to win a Super Bowl. And what you need to understand is that if you can get a quarterback, they are valuable. An elite top-level quarterback, they are a dime a dozen. So once you get that quarterback and develop them, right, sustain them over a period of time, they can take your places. And personally, I've seen where, probably I don't think, the team or generally fans would have appreciated, Drew over the years. We are seeing what is happening now of the team not having really a great quarterback. Defense has been stout, but getting a lot of 3-and-out consistently, putting pressure on the defense, getting a lot of 3-and-outs equal because they picked off, Josh Allen in the last game and they ended up scoring 31 points because they were constantly on the field. So I think the team needs, next season, I think really need a quarterback and getting back from these injuries will be critical. But I don't know if they can make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, it will be a one and done. I don't see. Trevor Simeon really is not the answer, and Taysom Hill is not either because him not a traditional quarterback. So I'm just here hoping for the best.
All right, and Demo is saying calling Maguire a fridge. So Demo, you think if they had called LeBron I don't know. Well, I don't know what them call LeBron. A loser.
Cry baby.
Cry baby. You think if them say LeBron, you're a cry baby, you think LeBron would have said, all right, LeBron's supposed to hear that at every single arena that he has been to. Again, Demo, you're really
and Kems, I have not persons being thrown out of games, because remember, you have thousands of fans over the years chanting or making comment or gestures or saying things to players. We have really, if that was the case where players are bothered by every little thing that is said or things that bother, who to tell a player don't feel comfortable and say, yo, you're not good or you're trash, get him out of the game. Players don't have the time to really, because a fan says something that they don't like or it does sound right to them, to just have them ejected. So when a player, LeBron James, John Tom, anyone asks for a fan or fans to be removed, it's not something that we must say, all right, the person is a crybaby, because we don't know what he said. As I said, no, we know what was said. But persons asking or a player asking for a fan to be removed from a game is not something that typically happens every day in an NBA game, right? If that was the case,
this is how I see it.
Right? So him asking to don't see it. When we find out that, I personally agree with what LeBron did. You can't just come and just say what comes to your mouth and wishing that on the man's side. It's unacceptable, man. It's really, nobody can justify that.
If I send my son or my daughter to a basketball game and I see them say that on TV, they'll never leave the house again. Never leave the house again. That is just totally unacceptable. All right, but let me just run through really quickly. Devin, I hope you have now come to the realization that Frank Vogel, and we'll talk about it tomorrow for sure, that
That
Frank
word
Vogel is
tomorrow.
not the man for the job. All right,
Tomorrow.
but
Got problems on Frank Vogel still, but
all right, but
you know that.
definitely.
Man grateful no Gary. Man
Yeah,
grateful.
true, man, win a title and them, yeah.
Long the man you know win a title and Frank Vogel come on and get a title. And them
I
now.
help them win a title. So
No.
I saw
All right.
people are grateful.
All right, gentlemen. Definitely thank you guys for coming. Big up the producer. Big up Joshie Ebanks. Big up everybody in the comment section. Remember to like and subscribe to the video. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. for the NBA show. Ja Morant is not top 5. LeBron is
Never.
top 5. Ja Morant is not even top 10 right now.
A
Probably,
dirty man no
probably.
Hey,
Gary.
hey,
Demo said
boy, I
Jack
mean, I know Jamaran. Give man some flowers, Kems, man. Oh God, man. Me know the rate
Not top 5.
Jamaran to the man.
Rate him.
Give man little flowers, man. Sure.
Rate him,
Not
rate
top,
him. But say
not
my
top
top
5.
5.
Not top
No,
5.
he's not top 5, but he's
Oh, thank you,
up
Gary.
there. Probably top 12. All right, no problem.
All
At the
right,
top
man.
12.
Big up.
Big up.